Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another video that paid request, this time for Ronald. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested, requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, reviews, re-reviews, wherever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for Django, the 1966 film. It is an Italian Western made because of the success of the Man with No Name trilogy by Sergio Corbucci, starring Franco Nero. Franco Nero has since appeared in a few Quentin Tarantino films like Django Unchained. I believe he was in one of the John Wick films. I want to say John Wick Chapter 2 he was in. I think he was the one that was asking John Wick if he's going to kill the Pope. Nope. Okay. He's mostly known for... I think he was in Enter the Ninja in the 80s. Because I barely remember that film. And some films of that nature. This is, I would say, his most well-known character, his most well-known film. And it's a pretty good Western. If you like Italian, spaghetti Westerns, I would still say I like the Man with No Name films more. But Franco Nero definitely has the right look for it. Wasn't a fan of the English dub. Probably would have been better if I was able to find... I could not find the foreign version with subtitles. I could only find the English dub. And the English dub I just don't think fits with whoever they got to dub Franco Nero's voice. He just didn't fit with the part. So it would be nice to see this with his natural dialect and just with subtitles and such. Now, it starts out with a very catchy theme. Django, Django, Django. Now your love has gone away. You lost your lone wolf. I can't sing for crap, so I'm not even going to try. And you have this lone man walking, dragging a coffin. Interesting start to it. Sees his prostitute getting the crap whipped out of her. Saves her. He's as fast with a gun as Clint Eastwood would be in The Man with No Name. Those films for fistful of dollars, for a few dollars more. Good, the bad, and the ugly. She joins him. They go to this bar. And you find out this town has been taken over. I thought this was an interesting idea. These racist ex-Confederates. And they're kind of like the Ku Klux Klan of back in the day. And what I mean by that is a striking image where at times they wear a red hood over their face. It almost looks like the Phantom from The Town That Dreaded Sundown, but with red instead of white. So again, it's like a Confederate Ku Klux Klan type of stuff. I think they even called, what, the Red Shirts or something? And they're against the inferior kind. No black people, so they might have killed all the black people, but they are going after the Mexicans. And Django was there, as he puts it, because he goes to his grave of this woman, Mercedes. And as he puts it, at least in the English dub, she was someone who was a part of my life and was killed by this guy, Jackson, while I was away. Who's the leader of this group. So it's either him dealing with these guys or dealing with these Mexican revolutionaries to a point joining with them to try to take the gold away from the Confederate Ku Klux Klan type of members. The movie went at a good pace. It's only 90-some minutes. I could imagine this film looking gorgeous and Blu-ray 4K format. A lot of those, not just westerns, but spaghetti westerns, they have a great eye for visuals. And again, the music really fits. Like I said, Franco Nero definitely has a good look that brings a bit of charisma. But it's just a lot of times... Like, even I remember Enter the Ninja, they just did some really bad dubs for his voice English dubs. Again, this as well. And he's a guy that he seems a bit more morally higher, perhaps, than maybe Clint Eastwood's character. Again, based on the English dub, I don't know if it's one of those scenes where the foreign version language is different, and English dub they changed the words around. Because with English dub, they could put whatever they want into the mouths of these characters. But the way he comes off in this is, he doesn't like that Jackson, he shouldn't call anyone inferior. And, again, he cares for this woman who passed away. Get the idea it was his love, his wife. The prostitute at one point wants to go with Django, but he's like, you can't go with me, because sooner or later you're going to get killed, because my life is a way of danger, a life of danger. The keep her safe. Now, one thing I'll go more into spoiler. Well, I'll say this before I do that. For those who want to watch this without spoilers. What's in this coffin is very cool. To see where, not just Tarantino, I can see where Robert Rodriguez could have gotten very, very big influence from this film. I'll put it that way. But getting into spoilers. First off, in that coffin, because there's a point where a bunch of these bad guys are coming towards him, he has a fucking Gatling gun. It's a Gatling gun. It makes me think of Desperado with the Antonio Banderas. Instead, it was a guitar case. It's like, and all the other, his buddies he gets that all have stuff in their guitar cases. Of course, and before that is El Mariachi, but the one I remember the most is Desperado with Antonio Banderas. And then you had Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Are you Mexican or Mexican? I'm a Mexican. Sorry. Anytime I think of that movie, I always think of that line. For good, for bad, for whatever. But it's all cool. Badass got a fucking Gatling gun. Alright. That's cool. I do wish that the violence was of a Sam Peckinpah style. I do wish it was up some bits of slow-mo. I wish you got to see squibs. Because a lot of people get killed, but you don't really see a lot of squibs, blood-wise. So, maybe they didn't have the budget. Maybe it just wasn't the time frame. But I said, I just wish it had a bit of that Peckinpah bloodbath quality. I think that would have made it even more distinct. Especially with that Gatling gun sequence. Like, if that Gatling gun was like the ending of the Wild Bunch, or a number of Sam Peckinpah, which it seemed like John Woo was inspired by Peckinpah when John Woo did his heroic bloodshed type of movies like Hard Boiled and stuff. I wish there was a bit of that in it, I will say. And Tarantino, I mean, that's just because he did Django Unchained, but there's a scene where one of the Confederates gets their ears cut off by the Mexican revolutionaries. And not only do they cut off, but they put it in the guy's mouth. And I'm like, oh. I have a feeling Tarantino was inspired a bit by this for Reservoir Dogs, which also had an ear cut off. He didn't. I don't think he put it in the guy's mouth. Michael Madsen did, but he did cut it off. So I wonder, yeah, he was inspired by this to do that scene of Reservoir Dogs. One thing I will say, I saw this interview with Quentin Tarantino. It was going on this thing where, who is Mercedes? We never know who Mercedes is. And he thought, oh, you know what? Yeah, I doubt it's his wife. I bet it's, in the war, it was the wife of his friend who was black. And I'm saying there, what are you talking about, dude? It says, that's what I mean, maybe in the foreign version they don't say this, but in this English dub, it literally says, verbatim, someone who was part of my life, and she was killed by Jackson while I was away. Why would your buddy's wife be a part of your life in that way? No, it's his wife. And he didn't come back. Because the prostitute even says, "Why didn't you come back sooner?" "I couldn't. I was away in the war." I mean, that's what it was. So Tarantino, loved the guy. I don't always agree with his viewpoints, though. This is one of them. And when I say I love the guy, I mean I love his movies. I love a lot of his movies. Pulp Fiction, even Once Upon a Time in Hollywood I liked. But I forget where that interview is. It's on YouTube. I thought, well, that's kind of, you're full of shit. You're full of shit, Quentin. Sorry. How's he full of shit? Because it said in the movie that he's full of shit. It blatantly says in the movie who Mercedes is. There's no mystery to it. Now, if there was a mystery, that could have been cool. Now, again, if it's in the foreign version, you have to let me know. I'm just saying, in the English dub, they explain who she is. And I will admit, if they made it mysterious so you could think of it like Tarantino did, that could have been interesting. But again, at least on the English dub, that's not what it was. I will say the stealing of the gold kind of felt like it was being a different movie at that point. Because, okay, he did for the Mexican revolutionaries, and one of them he knows from the past, and they steal this gold, and then they get back, and then the guy's like, "Sorry, Django, I can't give you any of this gold. I need it for my cause." And then Django steals some, and then the prostitute says, "I want to go with you." He's like, "No, you can't. It's dangerous." And then the thing falls into a quicksand, and he tries to get it, and then she gets taken, and he gets wounded, and he gets his hands busted up. Not entirely like a different film, but it's like, okay, where's this going? But really, it's kind of this old ploy to get his hands messed up for the finale. And then, like I said, this was spoilers. The revolutionaries get wiped out by our main bad guys. I would say I did like the idea behind the finale. And this graveyard, and he's by the Mercedes grave, the cross. His hands are so busted up, he's got to put the gun, he's got to kind of work it using the cross to get them and aim. I thought that was a nice idea for an ending. There was a nice set piece. Yeah. Did you hear this? I thought that was pretty cool. I thought there was going to be one more thing where the bad guy was bleeding and he goes up to the guy, like finishes him off point blank to put that exclamation point, but not the case here. And he leaves his gun at the grave and walks off with that same theme, Django, playing. Like I say, if you like westerns, if you like Italian westerns, I mean, I gave it away, but that's why I said spoilers. Let's say I like the idea of the villains being these racist Ku Klux Klan with red looking guys. Thought that was a nice aesthetic for a visual. The villain was there, but I mean, I would give the villains in the Man with No Name trilogy more prominence. Because like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, you had Lee Van Cleef by the end, and Fist for... I can't remember for Fist for $. But I like that finale with Lee Van Cleef and the music. That's actually my favorite of the three, is For a Few Dollars More. There's if I stop stuttering, the bad guy kind of, you know, because I can't remember much detail about the villain himself. The dialing gun was cool. I wish we could have seen more of it. Pretty much used in one scene, but I wish... And then he lets the Mexicans use it during the gold robbery. But I wish he could have either saved it for the end and he uses that because his hands are broken, so he can't aim, so he used that. That maybe could have been saved for the finale, where there's a group of people and he's a graveyard, he's hiding behind the graves, running towards one grave to the other, using them as protection, and he can't move, but he can carry it, prop it, and they didn't get some like sandpaper paw. That would have been cool. But you know, it want to be more simpler and more maybe a subtle way of it ending. I just had to think like the Rambo 4 ending. But this one I thought was pretty decent. I did like it. It didn't overstay its welcome. Like I said, maybe one day if I can find the foreign version with the subtitle, I like to check that out. So I'm not hearing that weird English dub. But yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.